Hello and welcome to the Malden Public Library. This is Patrick, your young adult librarian. I'm here in the young adult section for craft day, in particular duct tape crafts. If you haven't already, we have grab bags with craft materials for this week's program and next week's here at the Malden Public Library. So you're just going to come by and grab a bag. It's got some books in it as well, free books that you get to keep, and 2 different kinds of duct tape. The craft that I'm going to be showing off today is how to make a particularly a pin into a duct tape rose. Now, these are the 2 colors I picked. One is kind of a threadbare camo, and then the other is like a leafy camo. And in the grab bag, you're going to find these 2 duct tapes. And the other things you'll need for the craft are a good pair of scissors. I've got a pair of steel ones, small steel ones that are good for cutting, because you're going to be cutting into the duct tape. Or if you feel comfortable with it, an X-Acto blade or some other, what does it recommend? A craft knife. I also recommend a crafting board or a hard surface if you don't mind scoring into, like a cutting board. If you're going to use a pen knife or a pen like that, it's sometimes a little difficult to cut into duct tape. I will show you. Your scissors are a little gummy. I'll show you an example. So you get a little extra piece here. What we're going to be doing today is cutting a few pieces of duct tape into squares about the width of the duct tape itself. So about that size. And I'm going to build the duct tape rose onto the end of this pin. So if you see, I've already taken the first color, and it's going to be like the stem of the rose. And then on the end here, I've started to build up just a little bit of the second color, that's camouflage. And the shapes that we're building are very simple, but they are numerous. So I'll show you an example of the final product here. And this is not even half of the shapes that I've built, but they are, I'll give you a closer view of a single one of them, just like a little house. And if I flip it over the other side, you'll be able to see that there's a good deal of tape still exposed. And these are the petals for your rose. I'll show you how we're going to craft them. And I've already got mine pre-built. This craft is going to take you about 20-30 minutes, depending on how quickly you can make these. So here's sticky side. Here's the leaf pattern side. You're going to fold the sticky side down onto itself, just about half in the center. Does that make sense? Right, like that. And then we're going to fold the other half down right on top of it. And we're going to try not to leave any tape exposed. And we're trying to get a very stiff peak. So here is that completed. So you see at the top here, no tape in the middle there, but a great deal of tape exposed here at the bottom. That's going to be important because that's what we're going to use to fix this to the rest of the duct tape. I have a couple examples of what I would consider duds or bad rolled tape. This one, if you notice, is kind of teepeed. It's almost too much tape here at the bottom. And it's a much smaller triangle shape here at the top. This is going to wrap around the base of the pin, kind of like, I'll show you the first one here, just like this. So we actually want this to be a little wider. Another example of a bad one would be this. You see, you got a whole bunch of tape still in the middle. You want to make sure this comes to a stiff peak. So we'll use this, but you don't want too many like this because you don't want tape in the middle of your duct tape pen. So here we go. I've already put the first one on there, and we're just going to do this in real time, just wrapping around. So the next one, if you see you've got a peak here, you want just another peak. Oh, can I see this? Just off center of that. And you're just going to wrap right around the pen. And basically, we're going to repeat this process 20 some odd times. You can make the pen as large as you want. I've seen them come all the way out to I am going to just do this in real time with you. Just wrapping. Oops. The nice thing about this is you're sticking the sticky side of the duct tape to the non-sticky side, and if you mess something up, you can just kind of peel it off like so and reapply. Now, if you stick the sticky side to the sticky side, it's a good deal more unforgiving and might rip and tear, so you definitely don't want to do that. I wish I could just speed up this video so you can see the end product, but I kind of wanted to go along and do this as we went. These guys are just going to get progressively thicker on the base. If you can see here, can I point this towards the light? You've already started forming what looks like the center of a flower. And here's in profile. It's starting to get thicker. Thicker and a little wider at the top than it is at the base. Keep on going, keep on trucking. So I think I'm getting them a little too tall here. You kind of want to build out and not up, which I seem to be doing. So we're going to correct that. Just take one off, and we're going to layer more the outside of the flower. And at this point, yeah, like I said, you're building out, not up. So you don't want this flower to rise too much before you can start leveling off the petals here. So they're about the same size, and they keep going up. All right. I'm about halfway done with the ones that I've made. And you kind of want to stagger some of the petals so they're not all up on top of each other, if that makes sense. Keep going. Do this as quickly as possible, but when you're doing this craft, I recommend putting on some music or maybe watching a TV show, because it does get a little monotonous cutting out all the shapes, folding them all. You can do it in whatever order you'd like, but I cut out all my shapes first, and then I like applying them all at the same time. We can break it up by doing a little piece at a time. I will say, with the amount that I've cut out, about 20 or 30 of these little shapes, I don't think I'm going to be even halfway done with the craft. But you get a good idea of what it looks like at the very end here. If you Google duct tape roses, you'll see much more completed versions, what they look like. Okay, at the end here, I'm going to give a good pat down. And here is, I would say, about halfway done. You can probably add another 20 or 30 of these petals onto the base. Here it is from the side. It gets a little heavy on the end, so it's up to you. If you want to make it a smaller rose, you can. If you want these petals to kind of crease inward, you can kind of bend them that way so it looks more like a closed flower. If you want them to spread out, I would just put the folded tape edges down a little further, and that will make them build out as opposed to up. I feel like I've done maybe up a little too much here. Like I said, if I double the amount of tape on the end here, it's going to get very heavy. So I've just done this with a plastic pen, but you can do it with mechanical pencil or a heavier pen if you have a nice pen that you don't mind taping up. That's always a nice thing. Maybe something you can change the cartridge on if you want to keep it. But yeah, you can choose whatever colors you want. One of the coolest designs that I've seen online actually uses about 5 or 6 different colors for the petals and makes like a rainbow pattern. So doing about 10 of each color in the rainbow and then spiraling it outwards. So it just turns into a nice rainbow rose, something you don't see in nature. Anyway, that is it for this week's craft. Like I said, you can get the craft bags with 2 rolls of duct tape, a couple different colors, and the craft materials for next week's program, which is origami. If you enjoyed this program, well, let us know in the comments or like it. And if you want to do more crafts from home with the Malden Public Library, let us know as well. We're looking to do more of these in the future. So I'm very happy to hear your guys' feedback of if you want to do another duct tape craft or another something different, just let us know. Anyway, this is Patrick from the Malden Public Library signing off. Thank you so much for watching and have a great day.